The most common impulsive structure is what you see on the chart, a 5-wave impulsive move to the upside where wave 3 is the longest, strongest and most impulsive wave. After wave 5 we expect a 3-wave corrective structure to the downside. Inside wave 1, 3 and wave 5 we can count lower degree impulsive structures. So inside wave 1 we should also be able to count a 5-wave impulse to the upside. The same is true for wave 3 and also for wave 5. Inside wave 2 and wave 4 we want to count 3-wave corrective structures. Now there's two rules that are very important. First of all, in an impulse wave 1 and 4 are not allowed to overlap, and also wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave between wave 1, 3 and wave 5. The common target area for your wave 2 is the 0.5 to the 0.786 Fibonacci taken from the low to the high of this wave 1. The 382 is an uncommon target and the 886 is a very rare target, and this impulse is invalidated as long as wave 5 did not yet appear. The target for wave 3 is commonly at least the 1.618 trend-based fib extension taken from the low to the high of 1 to the low of 2, but as mentioned, the only requirement for wave 3 is that it is not allowed to be the shortest wave between 1, 3 and 5. However, commonly in this scenario, wave 3 is extended. It can even extend to the 2.618, 3.618 or even further. The common target area for your wave 4 is the 0.236 to the 0.5 Fibonacci taken from the low of 2 to the high of wave 3, and the 0.618 is an invalidation for a wave 4. After wave 4 we want to see wave 5 to the upside, and there's 3 ways in which you can calculate the target area for wave 5. First of all, the 1.236 to the 1.618 Fibonacci from the high of 3 to the low of 4. Then you can have a trend-based fib extension number 1 from the low to the high of 1 to then the low of wave 4. So again from the low to the high of 1 to the low of wave 4. Toggle on the 1 trend-based fib extension, which is also a target. And finally the 0.618 trend-based fib extension from the low to the high of 3 to the low of wave 4. You will notice that sometimes one of these targets is actually below the high of wave 3, but in a normal impulsive structure we definitely want wave 5 to finish above wave 3, because a truncated wave 5, where wave 5 will not move above the high of wave 3, is incredibly rare, never preferred, unless all of the other stuff fails. If we then look at a fib time, then we compare wave 2 in time with wave 1. So we take a fib time from the low to the high of wave 1, and then preferably this wave 2 is finishing at least after the 0.382 fib time and before the 4 fib time. The moment price continues ranging and reaches the 4 fib time, probabilities significantly go down and are reduced for that range to be a wave 2, and especially after we hit the 5 fib time. You will see that most often a wave 2 is ending somewhere between the 382 and the 2 fib time. If we check the fib time for a wave 4, then we are comparing wave 4 with wave 2 based on the rule of alternation, where wave 2 and 4 are linked. So if wave 2 is, for example, short in time, deep, and a simple retracement, wave 4 tends to be shallow, long in time, and a more complex retracement. Now, more commonly, wave 4 is longer in time than wave 2. So that is why with the fib time, my fib time starts at 1, and the fib time is taken from the high to the low of wave 2 to the end over here of wave 3, comparing 2 with wave 4. And just because commonly wave 4 is longer, I have the 1 on my chart all the way to the 6 fib time. Now, the minimum requirement kind of for wave 4 is also ending after the 0.382 fib time. But then again, in my fib time template, I have the 1 as a minimum just because it's more common for 4 to be longer. Now, the moment 4 is ranging and it reaches the 5 and the 6 fib time, it significantly reduces probabilities that you're looking at a wave 4. Finally, you can also connect wave 1 and wave 5 with fib times, because with an extended wave 3, wave 1 and wave 5 tend to be quite similar in price and time. So you can take a fib time from the low of wave 1 to the high of wave 1 to the low of wave 2, and then wave 5 can finish between the 0.618 and the 1.618 fib time. So the 0.618 is on my chart, and then the 1.618 somewhere over here. Wave 5 does like to end somewhere inside that area, but it is not really a requirement. The Fib time for a wave 2 compared to 1 and 4 compared to 2 are by far most used compared to having a Fib time for wave 5 compared to wave 1. If we then finally look at the volume of a normal impulse to the upside here, the most common impulsive structure, then we have a wave 1, which is an impulse, so volume tends to go up. Corrective structures, usually volume goes down, so in a wave 2. And then we have a wave 3, and in wave 3 we want to see the highest amount of volume. Then we have a wave 4, corrective structure, so volume moving down again. And this is important because finally we have a wave 5, but the volume of wave 5 should be lower than a wave 3. So we make a higher high on the price, but we make a lower high on the volume. Now this is what you have to know about the most common impulsive structure. If there are any questions, make sure to ask them in the group.